Good morning, Rotary Club of Centennial. Ta-da!
Good morning.
Please silence your cell phones as I do mine. I'm sure it will ring anyway. Cheryl, do you have our pledge today?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Tripp, you have our inspiration?
Good morning. I asked, just to be safe, I asked Ken Hope to read my invocation this morning, and he sent it back with a couple changes. Thank you, Ken. Our Father, who shall be termed party of the first part, whose place in business is in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom, pursuant to terms and conditions, come, thy will duly, uncontested, be done on earth in as far as existing statutes permit, as it is in heaven. Give us this third day of September 2019, our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, notwithstanding claims, liens, and legal costs, as we who shall be termed party of the second part forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, i.e. sin, corruption, greed, gluttony, etc., but deliver us from evil, the nature of which shall be determined by the court. For thine is the kingdom and the power and pending appeal, the glory forever. Amen.
Please take your seats.
Thank you, Ken.
Go ahead, take your seats. Karen? Once we settle everything down, Karen, will you go ahead and do our Rotary Minute? Can't hear me? All right. Is that better? Okay. All right, Karen Fleck with our Rotary Minute.
Okay, so I have the Rotary Minute is a short story out of the Rotarian, August 2019, in the section that's called What Happens When You Say Yes to Rotary. You might have read this already, but I thought it's worth reading again. When a friend asked Carl Mitchell to join an Irish networking organization, he said yes, even though he isn't Irish. When at one of the organization's happy hours, he met a past Rotary district governor who asked him to check out an area Rotary club. He said yes, even though he was in his mid-30s and didn't think he matched the Rotary stereotype. And when at his second visit to the club, he was asked to become its president, even though he hadn't even joined Rotary yet. Well, you can guess what happened. So here's a quote from him. I had been president of my undergraduate fraternity chapter, he says. If you can survive that, you can handle a bunch of true altruists. People need three things: to feel like they belong, to feel like they have a voice, and to feel like they can make a difference. When his term was over, Mitchell asked his Rotary mentor, what next? She suggested he get involved at the district level. He became assistant governor, started a new club, one that now meets twice a month in a pub with a second floor art gallery, rotates a happy hour at different establishments each month, and does a whole lot of hands-on service work. Anything can happen if you give people a chance, he says. I know I was willing to say yes. I was looking for a way to make a difference, and Rotary has given me that opportunity many times.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. Yes. And we have our business minute. Deb, have you started eating yet? Right in the middle?
Of course. I just wanted to say thanks so much to everybody who participated in the peach sale. Barb, what'd we end up with? You know?
566 cases. We gave probably 5,000.
So I really appreciate everybody participating in that. I still have some extras, so if anybody still can sell, I've got both the 18-pound and the 10-pound. So, and there are a couple people that I could not have done without their support and help. Barb? Thank you. Barb does an amazing job of putting all the statistics together on a big spreadsheet, even up until the day of. So she does a lot for what we do. And then this one, is anybody going to see Jeannie? Or can they run by her house?
I'll see her tonight. She's going to have dinner with her.
If you would take this for Jeannie. Jeannie, even though she was not in charge this year, she was a huge cheerleader and supporter. So this goes to Jeannie.
Yes, and next week we will be awarding the person that had the most sales.
I do know that.
Oh.
Already. Sorry. Forgot that point. And I want to say congratulations to Phil. How many did you sell? 42 boxes. You do. You get a box of peaches and a thank you. No, what you do is you get $100. And I was going to get it to a favorite restaurant, but why don't you spend it however you would like it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. So I'll say a little bit more about peach sales a little later, but first I just want to give thanks to everyone who comes and helps and participates in this setup, the takedown, the whole aspect of this Rotary Club. It's so essential, and I thank you guys, because I can just show up and with my mess of notes and get started and not have to worry about everything. So you guys are so appreciated. Thank you, Paul Fritzler, for setup. I know John McCarty is taking down, so thank you for that. David Livingston, thank you for having that all set up. You're being a great greeter. Trip, that inspiration was definitely unusual. Thank you, of course. And then Cheryl, thank you for the pledge. We have a few visiting Rotarians today. Randy Pote. Oh, no. I know. Some of you may recognize him. And then we have Lisa Scaglione from the Rotary Club of Santa Ana.
As unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, and the fact that I'm really a shrinking violet, I am so honored every time I come back to this club. The growth, the projects that you guys do with the youth, you're getting younger, thank heavens. But it is so cool to have such neat friends here. Please do not forget to donate to the Rotary Rose Parade Float Committee this year.
Oh, come on, Randy.
And don't forget, my house is open. If you have it on your bucket list and you want to come out and decorate, sign up is on the 15th, and if you don't get in, you still have a friend in the float business. Thank you.
Lisa, would you like to say something, or donate to the float? Oh, there we go.
So I will not second the plea. Just thank you all for being here. I'm in town for the zone meeting up the street, and Randy, to whom I refer as the relentless Rotarian, said, "Oh, you should come make up a meeting." Thank you for having me.
Yes, yes. Welcome. Well, welcome. Thank you. And we have some guests here. We have Tim's wife, and then I am very happy that Julie Aubrey from Rotary International is here. So for most of you who are here, when I did my inaugural speech, I had talked about us being potentially part of a membership opportunity with Rotary International. And we were selected to be a beta group for that. So Julie is our membership officer, and she is helping us to kind of look at our membership. How do we retain people? How do we gain people? Our diversity, etc. So we will be meeting with her monthly and start implementing some things along with her. And we're also combining that with our visioning. So hopefully we'll be able to get some goals out and more information out to you by our next club assembly in October. So thank you, Julie. Did you want to say anything, or?
I just wanted to say thank you for welcoming me to your club. I'm really excited to work with you all. Congratulations on a wonderful fundraiser. Oh, there we go. We have microphones. This is awesome. I don't have to yell. No, just thank you for having me this morning. I'm really, really excited to work with you all. And again, congrats on the fundraiser. Yeah, it's been great working with Samantha and your club leaders, but if you ever have any questions or just want to connect, I'm happy to talk. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Julie. Appreciate it. All right. So, of course, we want to celebrate our birthdays and anniversaries. We have September 4th, one of our millennials, Dave Kotwasinski. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Then we have one of Candy Ostegard is on September 5th, right, Kent? Yep. Okay, don't forget that one. And then we have several people who joined Rotary this month, years ago. Years and years ago. John Peterson, we have 4 years. Ken Hope, 18 years. Dave Kotwinski, that one, 1 year. I can't even pronounce my own last name now, so give me a break. Andreas Osuna, 12 years. Karen Fleck, 2 years. And Catherine Smith, 2 years. Now we have some club business. So let's see here. Peach sales, as we said, we had 566 boxes sold, 423 from our Rotary, 123 or 43 from the Boy Scouts. So for Rotary, that's up, what, about 70 boxes from last year? So that is awesome. Congratulations, everyone. You did it. You pulled it up. I did twice as many, right, with 6 boxes. So next year, hey, you know what? It's all about improvement, right? So we've improved, and that's awesome. I'm so proud of you guys. And
let's do a shout out for everybody that did 3 or less.
Which means next year. That's okay. We have your names. So next year, you're in the pot that if you don't sell more than 3, I don't know, we'll have some kind of punishment. Because, you know, Diana will be the leader then. That's right. So, and Phil, congratulations. We'll have your
checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. That's right.
Lost in the mail.
I also want to congratulate, because I think I've missed this because it was when I was absent, Cheryl, because her and Mark Garfinkel, who did so much with getting a district grant approved for the Lebanon trip, going to putting in playground equipment for Dar el yes, safe. Obviously, I'm having pronunciation problems today. But it was $16,000 in grant money. No, 11,000. 11,000 or 11,000. So I just want to congratulate you. Do you want to give an update on how that is going?
I'd like to give an update in about 2 weeks.
Okay,
please.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
So, but congratulations to you and Mark, everything that you had to do with that. We really appreciate all your support with that as well. Now we have an underwear drive. Ken?
Oh, clever. Okay. Anyway. Thank you. Pretty smart here. He's a graduate of Denver Public Schools, so. Or did you graduate? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I'm pleased to announce that we are more than halfway to our goal. Our goal is 500, and we are about 260 as of yesterday. Mark Gale, I was not here last week, so I was pleased to see the box really full. Integrated Family Community Services is really under the gun. There's been a couple food banks that have gone under, and so any help we can give them and the services that they provide the community is very, very helpful. When you're buying your underwear, we're a little short on, shorts. Girls large and boys large. So if you're shopping, we have enough. So get the larger ones if you can. And if you're really desperate, or like Jeannie Henshin, she's not here, but she gave me some money. So I will, if you're forgetful or not here, I will definitely take cash, and I will purchase these on behalf of the club. $20 will get you about 20 pair of underwear. So we're going to do it for a couple more weeks. Hopefully we'll get our goal of 500. And I appreciate everybody's help so far, so we're halfway there.
Great. Great. Thank you, Ken, for organizing that, and Mark Gale, because I know he's helping with that as well. John and Mark, do you guys have any update on Water Rico? I know you guys are leaving Saturday. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, as you all know, Mark and I and Ann and a new member has joined our jolly little group going down. My wife gave in, and she's now going with us also. So there'll be 6 of us all together, 4 going down Saturday, and then Deborah and David coming down middle week to finish it out. So we're ready to go. The filters are there, the buckets are there, the hurricane is not there, and we're ready to do it.
Awesome.
Mark, anything else? Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for your support.
All right. Well, we look forward to hearing about how it goes, and thank you for the other participants. And Deb, are you going as well? Yeah. Yeah. So thank you both for giving up your time and volunteering for that as well. Diane Zing, are you here? No? Nope. Okay, so we'll wait another week for Santa Claus update. Mary Alice with our picnic and prime timer.
Yes. I'm going to send the sheet around again today for those of you that weren't here last week. The picnic, which is our September social, at least the first of the September socials, is going to be at our house on Saturday. And there are a couple of lines that need help here. So if you haven't already signed up, would you please make sure those lines get filled in? If all the lines are filled in, feel free to add lines to it. But make sure these lines are filled in. The main ones that we need filled in are for the main dish, and that's not to be home, go to Kentucky Fried Chicken or whatever, we're happy. So don't make that a big deal. It's supposed to be a fun picnic, not a lot of work. So I'll send this around. Please make sure it gets back to me. And the second thing I want to talk to you about is prime timers. We've got a couple of things coming up. One is the the movie night, which is this next Wednesday. And we traditionally have not had a lot of Rotarian support for that event. So if you can find a couple of hours in your schedule, it would be great to come out and support that. October Sky is the movie. It's at Coble Library, and it starts at 3:30. And I know that precludes some of you from coming, but if you can, come join that event. It helps bring in more prime timers when there are more people in attendance. So that would be a good thing. The other thing is we have a bank of tickets reserved for October the 6th. That's a Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for the 9 to 5 musical, which is at the Pace Center in Parker. And we carpool from Willow Creek and go down to Parker, and it would be really great to have we need more people to participate in that. We have a group already signed up, but we need some more to get our discount. Their tickets are normally $34, and we're getting them for $30.60. So you get a little discount and would be enjoying a great musical. Their productions are fabulous. So let me know if you can come.
Great. Thank you, Mary Alice. Doug, do you want to talk about shirts?
Well, for reasons both mysterious and weird, I have 2 shirts left over that people apparently did not pick up. I have a men's large and a women's large. So if anybody is interested in buying one or both of those, see me after the meeting.
Great. Thanks, Doug. Now, just a few additional announcements. For those of you who know Eric Nielsen and our millennials, he is shipping off to training. I think it was this weekend, and then he'll be going up to North Africa. Sarah wanted to start getting things ready for a care package, especially apparently Charmin toilet paper is highly valued over there. So if I know that the millennials have started kind of gathering some things of what they're going to send, so I said I would let everyone know if you are interested in helping out, bringing in something, whether it's for this one or for a next one. I think we're going to try and do it pretty often until he comes home to show the support of his Rotary family. So please keep that in mind. Bring things. I'll take them to Sarah, and we'll get those started for him. Also, put on your calendars, which John, I forgot to send you to let you know this, but Polio Pigs we will be doing on October 22nd. So be sure to bring in your Polio Pig with your change and your checkbook or your wallet with extra money, just in case. So we can go ahead and put that into our Polio Plus Fund. And October 24th is Polio Day, World Polio Day. So that's why we decided to do October 22nd. And then one last thing before we get to travel gifts. We do have an off-site event October 1st. It's going to be at Gordon's music store. So I just want to make sure everyone is aware. We'll get the address and everything posted so we can just start planning on that. Now, do we have any other business before going into travel gifts? No? Do we have any travel gifts? Okay, John?
I have a scarf from Santorini, Greece. It's indirectly from Santorini because on the way home, our flight from Athens to Philadelphia was just fine, but then at Philadelphia they said, we're going to wait because there's a storm in Chicago, and we said, we're not going to Chicago, but the plane wouldn't take off. We went out, after about an hour sitting on the plane, we went out on the runway, the taxiway. We sat there for an hour and a half. The pilot and crew timed out, so we went back to the terminal and sat there. This was like 10:30 at night. Sat there for an hour waiting for somebody to move the jetway out to the plane. And then we waited for an hour and a half for our luggage. It was now 11:30 at night, so I'm on the phone with American Airlines saying, how do we get to Denver? And they said, well, we can put you on the same flight tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon, getting in at 9:30. Or you can go to Atlanta and Dallas to Denver and get in at 5:30. So this scarf is Santorini, Athens, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Dallas, and Denver.
Thank you, John. David?
Well, my travel story pales by comparison. Spent 3 days in Durango visiting my sister, great hiking. Then a couple of nights in Chama, New Mexico, and rode the Cumberson Toltec Railroad, which was great fun. And last Tuesday, I wasn't at Rotary because we drove down to Abiquiu, New Mexico, which is about halfway down to Santa Fe, to the Georgia O'Keeffe home and studio tour. And there's a welcome center there. Here's a small print, which if it doesn't sell at Christmas, I'll be buying back. So it was a great trip.
So for those of you who don't know, our travel gifts go to our auction at our, well, this time it's going to be a Thanksgiving fundraiser, and that money goes to our foundation. John?
And I have one from Alaska. Now, as you all aware, Sven and Ole and Lena jokes are a big deal. So Petersburg, Alaska, where my brother lives, where we go, is a Norwegian heritage town. So up there they sell Ole and Lena fortune cookies. I think this might be the highlight of the year for travel gifts. Anyway, I'll read you one of them here. It says, as Ole and Lena stood by the wishing well, Lena fell in. Ole exclaimed, "Jeepers, I didn't think these things really worked."
That definitely fits this Rotary Club. Do we have any other travel gifts? Karen Fleck.
Okay, so mine are not nearly as nice as that one, but but I've been camping in southern Colorado a lot this summer, so I've sort of collected an assortment of things that interest me. One of them, okay, so if you haven't been down to southern Colorado, it's beautiful. There's a lot to see, a lot to do. And if you haven't driven the Scenic Highway of Legends, I recommend you do that because it's beautiful. So here is a little book that explains all the stops along the way, and it starts with Trinidad, and then it goes west and ends up in Walsenburg. I do it the other way because I go down to Cuchara and Levita, and then sometimes I go to Trinidad. But anyway, this is, it's a beautiful drive. So that's one. So because I'm a Colorado native and I'm interested in Colorado history, I always pick up some books of interest that are historical. And so in one of those stops, if you do this tour, in Levita they have this Francisco Fort Museum, which I'd never been to. And it's a wonderful museum, and there's two guys that run this place that will tell you everything you ever wanted to know, and they will take you on a mushroom hike if you want to do that. This year they had a lot of mushrooms because of the fire they had down there last year. But this book is American Indians of Pikes Peak region, and it is thoroughly researched. It's a fascinating book if you're interested in Indians. And it tells a story through photographs. Well, it gives a synopsis of like the Cheyennes, and then it tells the story through photographs. And I'll just read you a quick one. A short one here. So here's one. It's got a picture of an Indian on his Indian horse. It's actually a painting, I think. Dog soldiers were a Cheyenne warrior society. In battle, these men staked themselves to the ground with a rope and fought to the death. They were often wild and reckless and got the rest of their tribe into trouble with their mischief. And after the Sand Creek Massacre, dog soldiers led the defense of their people. So like little stories like that. So it's really, really good book. All right, I'll try to be brief. I bought this book, I think I was in Silverton, and it's Remarkable Railroad Passes of Otto Mears. Well, we all know who Otto Mears is, right? Because we've had the train, the Colorado train history speaker here. So anyway, I was like, oh, this will be a good one. It's going to talk about the passes, the mountain passes that he had to build over. Not so much. It's talking about the passes that he gave to the passengers. Some of them were silver, some of them were filigree. It's not at all what I thought it was, but somebody's going to want that, I'm sure. Some barbecue sauce from Handlebars in Silverton, which I was at the Handlebars like 35 years ago, and when we ended up there again, driving over the pass, I was shocked that it's still there. And let me see what's in here. I've sort of forgotten. The requisite coasters.
It's about time someone brought some of those around.
Yeah, these are kind of nice, but not really. But anyway, that's it.
Are they used? Because that's the Oh. They're not used? Well, I don't know. Those will work. Thank you, Karen.
And I'll try and make this brief. I've had company quite literally for 3 weeks that wanted to see Colorado. So we started at the Peach Festival, and we went out to Colorado Monument National Park, and we actually saw a herd of desert bighorn sheep. So I went with a theme of desert bighorn sheep. It's a puzzle, jigsaw puzzle. And then we went to Aspen, and in Aspen I found this cute little, it's like a little Lego. It's a little bighorn sheep that you put together. And then next place we went to was Breckenridge, and I got an exquisite set of coasters also, and a coaster holder, so extra coasters can go in there. And by the end of 3 weeks with company, you're kind of like, you know how that goes. So this is a family thing to keep them, it's a road travel game to do, so that keeps everyone entertained in the car, because again, after 3 weeks, you're kind of like, please do anything but listen to me. And we had a great time, and that was traveling across Colorado. Thank you.
Great. All right, so now, Happy Bucks. All right, Andres.
Wow.
All right, guys. It's that time. So dig into your hearts and dig into your wallets. Many things to be thankful for. You know, many blessings that we had just this past long weekend, holiday weekend. So I'm pretty sure all of you are happy and thankful for things that are going. And I'm going to start with 5. The first one is for Randy. It's always a hoot having you here, my friend. I remember the first time that I came to the club. You just heard that I've been 12 years with the club, and Randy was already a member. And he asked me to go do his yard, so because I'm Mexican. So, but it's
you go from highs to lows. So.
And I thought I really belonged to this club, so that was nice. Second one, wonderful job on the Peaches, Dev. I was asking her why she didn't get an arrangement for herself, so thank you for doing that. And the rest is just, it's great to be, well, for all our guests, Dee, nice seeing you. And thank you for being here as well from Rotary International. And then the last 2 is just because it's Tuesday and it's great to be here. So I'm going to start with this table.
I'll just do one. College football is back. There we go. My Michigan State Spartans are 1-0. I'll keep you all updated.
Oh, you need 9 back?
I have 3. One is for Deborah and her committee for putting together such an incredible Peach event. Thank you. And then one is for Tim. That was so clever with that bucket truck and the big Rotary sign out there. I wish we could have that on I-25. And then the third one is for Mark. Where did he go to? Oh, you moved. Yeah. Thank you so much for your assistance with getting the Rotary grant. It was awesome.
Thank you, Cheryl. Ken?
Just a happy dollar for the great participation we have in the club for our underwear drive. So I appreciate everybody's effort so far. And the money I'm getting today, too.
3. One, just was reminded on Saturday morning how good it is to be working with people on something as important as the Peach Drive. Second one is looking forward to Water Rico. And the third one, you may remember some months ago, Hallie Woods, who is one of our daughters-in-law, came to talk about the expansion of the Centennial Medical Plaza. Well, 2 weeks ago, Hallie, at age 36, was named the Chief Operating Officer of the Medical Center of Aurora, Centennial Medical Plaza, the ER facility at Saddle Rock, and Spaulding Rehabilitation. Wow. And she has 2 preschoolers.
Mr. Peterson.
This is a happy buck for all the members of the club because next week neither I nor Randy Pote will be here.
It's amazing.
I'm giving a happy 29. I've actually made 29 years of marriage, and I think Mark got the lemon, but that's okay. I also want to say I'm really happy that the peach sale's over because I'm so tired, and I'm still delivering. And I'm also very happy because I am now, which Tripp is aware of this, but I am now a certified living in place professional. And I took 6 days of classes for this, so it was an extensive class, and it teaches you how to help people, especially when you're selling homes or even if you're not selling a home, how they actually can live in place longer by, say, using grab bars or things like that in their homes, how to get rid of throw rugs because people trip over them. Teaches you that 80% of people fall in their bathrooms. And so it's a very intense class, but thank God I passed. So, and then I'm really looking forward to Thursday. I take off before I go to Puerto Rico. I'm going to Wisconsin to a sorority reunion. And this is where I grew up. And we are going back to the college where the 85s had their chapter room and get to see our dorm and get to go through that. And then, of course, we have to go to a winery and a brewery. And, you know, there's going to be a little bit of drinking. If you want, I'll bring back a cheese head.
Thanks, Dave. That reminded me when they told my dad that he needed to put a bar in the shower, he brought a tequila bottle into it.
I have 2 congratulations to successful peach sales. At the end of the day, we all enjoy peaches, but it really goes to our projects, and so it's a happy buck for the projects that are ahead that we can fund. So congratulations to that. And then I was not at peach sales because I had a house full of guests, including our own famous Randy Pote, who has been a delight. My best friend and her family were also here for 5 days, and it included 2 Rockies losses, 2 mini hot dogs, and an Air Force win, and so it was a good weekend.
Very good.
Just happy.
2, 1, I'm happy to be here, and 2nd, happy to be in Colorado, which, even though I live in Illinois, probably my favorite state. So maybe one day I'll actually move out here.
Anytime.
Our club is open.
Speaking of membership.
Speaking of membership.
I have 2, 1 for the peach sales, love those peaches, and 2, Broncos preseason is finally over, and I have extra Bronco magnets, so if anyone would like a Bronco schedule magnet, and for the realtors in the room, you just cut the bottom off and it works. So if you care to.
Anybody here? Just happy. Good. Mr. Garfinkel.
All right, I have 4. Randy Pote, how great to see you. How great. I remember those good old days. Peaches, great job, Deborah and the team that put that together. Cheryl, congratulations on that district grant. It took a while to do it, and we were sweating a bit. And then, of course, Puerto Rico, we leave Saturday, and we have a great team, and a great team here and a great team over there, so we're very excited about that.
Just happy.
All right. Let's see, Mr. Mayor.
1 for the peaches, congratulations, great job. And 1 for Mr. Pote. You need to come once a week because we get more happy bucks when you're here. Good to see you, Randy. It'll be happy when he leaves.
Couple, 1 just for the peaches, but for all the other great stuff that folks do week in and week out, whether it's Lebanon, Waterrico, just all that great stuff that our clubs do. That's what makes this club so awesome. And then another one, though it may fall on deaf ears, I was back to the home country, the good life in Nebraska, and I had the opportunity to go to the Nebraska game. I haven't been to a Nebraska game since like '02 or something like that, and it's just such an incredible time. And we won, which is also kind of incredible and a rare occurrence, but it was awesome.
Very good.
I'm just glad to be here. And young lady, you want to move here quick because it's filling up fast.
Jay.
I have two, one for the successful peach sales and for the Waterrico project, and two for the all the guests.
All right. I'm pretty sure Mr. Pote has some happy bucks here.
I've got three. First off, I've been to an awful lot of Rotary clubs, and I have never seen a finer presentation of visiting club banners than what you guys do up on the screen. That is, whoever did that, it's brilliant, it's awesome. John. Oh, you did it? What a dumbass idea this is. Two is it's so nice to see Julie Aubrey. She was in club and district support when I was in the governor line, and she was an absolute rock star and put up with me, as you can tell is not easy. And third, you know what the third dollar for? It's, if it's Tuesday, it must be Rotary.
I have four. I'm always delighted for an opportunity to spend time in Denver. I absolutely love it here. One is because Randy very kindly chauffeured me around to my favorite breweries yesterday, so I can, I have to live up to my Rotary Brew Fellowship pin. So, and then he brought me here, which is great to make up a meeting, but I love seeing how people do things, and you guys are amazing how much you do. And then fourth is for Zone, because I love to do lots of Rotary stuff, and it's Zone that brought me here. So,
great.
Mr. Eunice?
I have five. One is for my lovely wife being here with me this morning. The second is this club still amazes me. We got to an event like the peach sales, and to see the number of people that showed up, that got the setup done, have the Boy Scouts there herding them along. It was just wonderful to see. The third one is for Mark and John Peterson. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look inside this thing, but I actually witnessed that training, and good luck, okay? The fourth one is for Ken Hope, taking on the underwear project. Ken, this is for your underwear project right here. And then the fifth is Samantha. You've been doing a great job.
Thank you.
Let's see this table over here, Miss.
I have two, and one is because we just spent an interesting 4-day weekend up in Montrose, and we went there because I read an article about the Black Canyon of the Gunnison, which if you haven't seen it, go. It is awesome. I mean, it's not quite as awesome as the Grand Canyon, but it's almost. And then number two is, pardon? Semi-awesome. Semi-awesome. Okay, we'll take that. And then at the bottom, in many places, it's only 40 feet wide. Just imagine that. And then number two is for going to Puerto Rico. I've wanted to do a project that is, this is not really international, but it feels international, going to Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, it's also hot and humid, neither one I like, but I'm going with some fun people, and we're going to get to meet the locals, and that's going to be great. Who am I going with? Him, for one. Anyway, so I thank you for all the support that was put into this, because of that, I don't have to pay a heck of a lot for my hotel.
All right.
All right.
I have two. The first is the Buffs are 1-0, and the second is for Ken Hope, whose Rams are 0-1.
Mary Alice.
This dollar is because two old geezers, Charlie and I, spent yesterday afternoon in our backyard working at 100 degrees, and we made it.
I'm still here.
Nicely
Yay.
done.
I have three. One is for Deb and all her work with Peaches. She really did do a lot of hard work, and so I appreciate that. And then the other two are just because I'm here. I had other ones, but I forgot.
For a senior moment.
I've got a dollar. I have to follow through with this Norwegian theme we have this morning, and it reminded me I was up in Minnesota just a while back and ran into Ole and Lena. And Ole looked a lot like Randy Pote. But I happened to mention to Ole, I said, Ole, you and Lena are celebrating your 25th anniversary next month, yeah? And he says, yeah. What are you going to do for Lena? He said, well, maybe I take Lena back to the old country. Oh, Ole, what a nice thing to do for Lena on your 25th anniversary, but what are you going to do on your 50th anniversary? Ole said, well, maybe I'll go pick her up.
All right, I got 10 happy bucks. First one for Peaches. Congratulations and great job, everybody. Number 2 for Ken. Thank you for your underwear. Number 3 is for the Broncos. Maybe they actually have a winning record this year. Number 4 is for the last $6 because I'm 6 times happy. Not for how I spent my weekend. I spent my weekend doing a bunch of painting and house cleanup, trying to get ready for something that's happening in the future. As you may or may not know, me and my wife have been pursuing adoption for the past 18 months, and we got word this past month that we got selected. So we met baby mama. We're adopting a domestic newborn, and so we met baby mama on August 11th, and we just fell in love with each other. And so she's due at September 27th, but she has a tendency to give birth early because she already has 2 sons. She cannot afford another child. And so hopefully by then we'll do a Rotary social, because when Josh was like 2 weeks old, I brought him out to a bowling event that we had. So if we do a big social, you'll be able to meet him. So.
Congratulations. I've got one. My son plays football. He's an 8th grader in middle school, and we always go to his game dutifully. He just got moved over to tight end, and he went all Gronkowski. He went all Gronkowski this weekend. He got the end of the game. They threw him the ball. He hit it. He caught it about the 10-yard line, and he could have dashed like all these butterflies to the sideline and tried to tiptoe into the end zone. But he said, I'm not fast enough. So he put his shoulder down, knocked the first kid down, and carried the other 2 into the end zone. And I am not exaggerating like dads do.
Nicely done.
Got on video.
Madam President.
Well, I have 3. I have 3. I would have more because look at all the amazing good news. Like all the things that you guys are sharing, it just makes me really happy. Brad's news almost brought me to tears because it's just, I can't even imagine that feeling, waiting and everything. So that's awesome. Thank you to all our guests that are here. Appreciate you coming and supporting Rotary afar. And Deb, thank you so much for everything that you did for Peaches. Really appreciate you. And all of you for all that you did for Peaches. Way you sold, and you did better than last year, and next year Diana will whip you even more and will get even more sold. So thank you for everything. Really appreciate all of you. So moving on, we have a presentation. I don't know who's giving the presentation. Cell? C-E-L-L?
Did they not show?
I have no idea.
Randy, talk about Brenda.
Was John Bellum? He So I think he was responsible for today's. So, does anyone have anything exciting to talk about?
Julie, why don't you tell how good we did on membership? Yeah.
Sorry, what's that?
Just talk for 40 minutes on how good we're doing.
Yeah. Julie could just randomly talk about membership, but Deb did want to say something as well. So.
I just want to say something, and I hope that each of you, the next time that you see Mark, reach out and thank him, because he was there by himself loading my vehicle with all the peaches, and I'm still delivering today. And he got up at 6 o'clock this morning because our laundry room was full peaches. Because it being Labor Day weekend, so many people were out of town, I had to convince people to store them at my house. And so I'm still delivering. But if you have a chance to see Mark, he did a heck of a lot of work for the club and trying to direct where things should go. So I hope the next time you see him, you say thank you to him.
Certainly. Yeah.
I tell him every day, you got the one.
Julie, do you have anything?
I don't know that I do not. I was to say on the spot, and also I have. I'm training district governors in just a little bit for about 2.5 hours. So my mind is still with their presentations. I'll admit.
Well, you could just give us a little snippet.
Oh,
practice
there. Well, what's kind of funny is it's more of a, and Randy knows this because I've trained him before. I end up putting some weird theatrics in there, which is pretty fun, But basically, one of the topics that we'll be covering, President Mark Maloney has a really big initiative that he's been rolling out called Grow Rotary. And this is in the form of new clubs. This is in the form of expanding membership. Basically, what he talks about is, say, like, for example, Denver and the surrounding areas. Just because there might be a lot of clubs already there, you still might not be reaching all of the audiences that could benefit from volunteering with Rotary. So he gives a great example of, he'll fold up a piece of paper and say, really you're only hitting this one section with this club, and there's all these other sections that might be available for volunteering. And I mean, you guys are doing some really great, you guys are busy. You guys are really busy just hearing all the things that you're doing, and that's wonderful. But also, when we talk about Grow Rotary, I know sometimes when people hear the word membership, they kind of cringe because they think it has to be numbers. And it's so much more than that. In fact, sometimes I get a little irritated with data because they're not showing the dimension that comes with membership, and that's the engagement at your club level. You guys have a very vibrant and engaging meeting. But it's a matter of making sure you're bringing your friends along, making sure that you're representing your community. And if you're not, what strategies you can be doing to include them in the conversations, because you guys are really making a difference. You guys are really thoughtful in the different projects that you're working on. I've already heard a variety of different things you guys are touching on, and that's so important. So that's some of what we'll be covering. Also, just some of the resources that are out there available. If you've been to Rotary.org, there's a ton of resources. I can tell some people go to the website and it's beautiful, there's some great stories, but when they go to look for things, they can get really overwhelmed. And who can blame them? There's a lot more out there than there used to be. And that's when you can call on Rotary staff to help with that. And that isn't just membership too. That can be grants, foundation, public image. And one thing I always like to encourage too is, of all the resources that are available, take what it is and make it a template to fit the needs of your club. I know when I've talked to certain clubs before about like a new member orientation program, they get a little daunted by it having to be such a formal program, and really make it your own. We don't want a cookie cutter Rotary Club. That's not what we're going for. But I'm going to leave it at that because I don't have something prepared specifically for you guys. But I really am grateful that I've gotten to see all the good things you guys, it's such happy news you guys were able to share, and I'm happy that I got to be part of it.
Thanks, Julie.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
That'll fill up the time.
So tell us a little bit about your history and how you got involved in Rotary and Rotary International, and what is your primary focus, your primary job with Rotary International?
Sure. So I got involved with Rotary about 7 years ago. I actually used to be a costume designer for theater. And then the recession happened. So that was fun. Literally, you go from starving artist to, okay, I actually can't even afford to live right now, so time to go back to the drawing board. And but the cool thing is I've been able to bring that creativity to some of the things that I've been able to do. And so my best friend, who's also worked with Rotary, we went to college together, and I remember when I took an aptitude test, it told me 50% you should work in the arts, 50% you should work with service, and maybe even social work. So I feel like I've kind of had a chance to have both careers, which is kind of cool. And I started in club and district support, which is when I met Randy, and what I did there was really a lot of administrative work, support. Any questions that a club had, you would call me. Any questions that a district leader had, you would call me. I would talk. If I wasn't the person to answer it, I would find the right person who would. And I got a lot of cool experiences from that. I oversaw the Resource Center booth at convention in Sao Paulo, Brazil during that time. Really got to have some great experiences with training and meeting different folks. And then the regional membership officer team was first formed. This position that I'm in didn't exist 5 years ago. This is a brand new team. And it was basically Rotary putting its money where its mouth was. If they kept promoting that we really need to be expanding what our idea of membership is, then they should have a face with that role. So I was asked to apply, and it's funny because I remember even seeing Randy in Sao Paulo right before I was asked to apply, and as soon as I got back, I was given the job. And he said literally, "What the hell, Julie? You just trained me. You said you'd be here for me." I'm like, "Sorry, I'll help with membership. I'm so sorry."
So when you're talking about membership, is it okay to invite the lawn boy to your Rotary Club?
But so I was put in this position, and at first, because of I wasn't actually working with you're now attached to an area that supports the West Coast as well, but I had the Rockies and Texas. That was part of my region, and then I had Australia and New Zealand, because that makes sense, right? Let's group these two enormous areas with very different cultures together. So I really felt like my brain was split in two, and I was supporting two completely different regions, not just culturally, but even in Rotary there was a huge cultural difference. But what a cool opportunity. It's funny, I'd actually just put on a board at work talking about different places, like different things that we do, different things that we like, and then places we want to go. And I had just put New Zealand on there 3 months before the job was even posted. So I've been to New Zealand several times. I've been to Australia. If people forget how big that country is, it is the size of the United States without Alaska, so I haven't seen nearly as much as I had wanted to. Also, 90% of their people live on the coast, and then there's a lot of empty bush in the middle. But yeah, it was really, really amazing. And I'm still friends with many of them today, and I feel like that even made me braver as a traveler. My last trip there was in New Zealand, and I did a 10-day road trip by myself in a camper van. So highly recommend that. That was amazing. But really, what I got to learn working with them and working with the Rockies in Texas are just all the different kinds of Rotary that exists out there and the support that they need. And trying to be more inclusive and understanding what Rotary looks like to someone might not look the same as others. You know, in Australia, they're very casual, which is why past President Ian Risley, he was not a big fan of dressing so formally. That's not really how Aussies do it. And in some parts of the world, it is suit and tie, and that is it, nothing less than. So us reimagining what a Rotarian looks like and how a Rotarian behaves and how they befriend other people. It's really put some of this into perspective, and that's why I'm glad that the Rotary president is from a different region every time. I see you back there.
What would you suggest as the best avenue to recommend to a random stranger you meet somewhere who's not from your specific area, who says, "Oh, how would I find a Rotary Club in my area?"
Okay, that's great. There's actually a new tool for that, and it's called Membership Leads. You can actually send them to Rotary.org, where they can click Join and fill out a profile. This will be sent to staff at headquarters. We'll make sure that they are in fact interested in Rotary membership. Sometimes they get a little confused. They might be interested in Rotaract or a different program or even scholarships. So we'll filter that out, then send it off to your district, and then the district tries to find out what might be the best match for that club, or what might be the best club for that person. But you as a club, if this is something that you're interested in, you just keep in contact with your district leaders saying, hey, this is what we're up to. Your assistant governor is a great example too. This is what we're up to. We were always looking for new members, but letting them know what kind of club you're about, that will help them make the right decision. Ken, are you the assistant governor? Oh, okay, great. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, right. Yeah. I am a blonde. I like to mix it up. It's a little rose gold right now, so yeah. Oh, wonderful.
I have a question. Do you want to buy a box of peaches?
I sure do. Yeah, I told Samantha that on our last call. I was like, I didn't realize I was tasting peaches wrong until a friend brought me Colorado peaches one of my last visits.
Do you want a small box or a large box?
Small box. It's just me. So, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Julie, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to come and visit our club this morning. Yesterday, our district newsletter came out, and the focus from the district governor was on membership. And there were some startling numbers in there from my perspective. He indicated that while Rotary is growing internationally, here in the U.S., Rotary is actually in decline. And there was a period that he referenced where we went from 440 members down to 390 members. I guess my question is, and that question may have left the building, but hold on just 1 second, it's gonna come back. The question is, I'm having a senior moment here, but it will come back. No, what are we attributing that decline to specifically here in the U.S., and what can we, I know what it was. The other thing was that he indicated that a lot of our clubs are losing members within the first 6 months. What are we doing? Are we talking to the members that we're losing, and are we figuring out why is it that within a 6-month span of time, they're all gung-ho to come into a club, and we lose them in 6 months? What's happening there?
Sure. That's a great question. And this is just, I'm broadly going to talk about it. Every club is a little different, and that's where I also do some consulting and analysis. But I would say the first year, 6 months to 2 years is kind of a crucial point for membership. Sometimes they get really excited. They see a project that you've done and they'll visit the club meeting, but maybe they don't feel like they're actually being included. Everyone might be friendly, but they haven't found their Rotary family, if that makes sense. Like, you guys are all so close and you have inside jokes, and sometimes either don't feel like they fit in there yet, they don't feel like they're a part of that, or sometimes it's a matter of disillusionment. It's not what they thought it would be. Every Rotary Club is a little different, so if they giving some basic understanding of the expectations of what it means to be a member, that can be really helpful. And then as far as the decline too, you know, there's natural attrition. There's people relocate. These are all issues that are not new. But making sure that when we're inviting a new member or we're inviting a guest, sometimes to our socials, sometimes to our celebrations, so that they get to see that side of us as well. It's not all work, there's some play as well. And then public image. I think sometimes, you know, being an international organization and all of these great things that we're doing, people don't know about that. They think of, like, for instance, this is just a very basic example, but in Australia, they have what they call sausage sizzles. And they'll go at some kind of home improvement store like Lowe's or Home Depot, their version, and they sell sausages as their fundraisers, which is a great way to bring in money. But there's no context to what Rotary is. Like, there's no flyer that they might give out with the sausage, or a calendar behind them on a banner saying what their upcoming events are and what Rotary is really about, what their money is going to support. They literally just think Rotary sells sausages. That's what that is. And that's a huge missed opportunity, because you are getting a lot of people, hey, and especially if they're at a home improvement store, they might have some skills that you could utilize, you know? Bring them into, you know, building new communities and housing projects. So it's all about sometimes just looking for an opportunity to engage that group. And maybe they might not always go on to become members, but they're connections, they're potential donors. They are people that might want to partner with their businesses. So I think it's about looking for that opportunity, and when you have guests and new members coming in, making sure you actually get to know them and checking in to see how they're feeling about the experience. They might have a great perspective that could enhance your club even more.
I will say that, and I agree with everything you've said. In the club I was in before, when I was president, we did exit interviews to specifically find out why people were leaving. And a number of people left because they felt like Rotary was always asking for money. And I know, not the past district governor, but the one before that, I went up to him and I said, "You're dinging my club. Every time you turn around, you're asking for more money. You go to a dinner and they ask you for more money for polio. I just paid $60 for rubber chicken. I'm not paying you anymore." And a lot of people left, I found, because it seemed like all we were doing was fundraising. And that was the reason for the club, and that's not it at all. But they couldn't stay in long enough to see the real value of what Rotary really was about.
No, thank you for that example. And that's one example of that disenchantment, right? Like, it's not that they don't want to give money, but it has to be more than that for them. They want the hands-on, and giving money, we don't always know everyone's financial circumstances. Sometimes might be easier than others. So making that opportunity without, I guess, making the person feel bad too. A couple, and start over here and then we'll head over here. Yes.
I'm just backing up, Deb. When I came, money was the deal. I mean, the members supported the foundation and the club, and I didn't see until later, and that's it, until later, that the community is being asked to also support with State of the City. Recently we've added beers, beer sales and other things, peach sales were part of that also. You need to let the new people know that this is going to happen. They're going to be looking to get support, but we're also going to be looking elsewhere.
Definitely, definitely. I'm going to stop over here in the teal shirt, and then we'll move around there.
Yay! I get to ask a question. I don't know if you can help with this or a suggestion, but I travel a lot, and the club locator is pretty much worthless. If you could just talk to the clubs that you visit and say it'd be really helpful if you would update that. In country, out of country, whatever. 9 times out of 10, they don't exist. They've moved. They don't even, the people that are on there aren't even in the office anymore. So if you could just emphasize that, it'd be really nice if they would update that. It'd be great.
I can definitely promise you we do, but because clubs are autonomous, we can't make them. So that becomes a challenge too. But thank you for that feedback. Did you have something to say as well? Okay. Oh, okay. Yes.
If you give me $20 today, you're not getting your money back.
Okay. I read the 5450 newsletter also, and one of the things the district governor talked about was so many clubs reflect on their past. And because new members don't understand what the past was, so it's good to give context looking forward, and this club does a great job of doing projects that are all looking forward, and I think that's one of the positives to this club. The other positive to this club is a few years ago we made the decision to diversify the club, bring in younger people, and reach out to a different group so that it wasn't just us old white guys, and try to distinguish what Rotary really is, not just old guys getting together once a week to talk about business or something like that, Ken. Actually, we've had some great presidents that have carried that forward. And so I think it's a variety of different things. And Diana, that's what I would suggest, the reason our club continues to grow when other clubs are continuing to shrink.
I think I want to comment on, thank you for sharing that. And I would agree as far as like, there are a lot of clubs that, there's value and there's warmth and love in tradition, but not being open to also creating new traditions, you're really doing yourself a disservice. But it seems like your club is really focusing on moving forward. I mean, I know that you guys have done a club assessment and checking in with you guys, and as you get new members, doing the same thing for them, allowing they're just as much a member as anyone else here. And I think there's room for both. There's room for the old traditions. There's room for creating new ones, trying things out. If it doesn't work out, I'm a big fan of trials. It doesn't hurt, right? Lessons learned, how it can be improved going forward. Or if, okay, maybe we tried that out and it didn't work out, so okay. But we know that now, and we've given that opportunity. Couple different hands. How about here? And then we'll go back there. Yeah.
I have found it fascinating. The last 3 or 4 speakers we've had that have come to speak to us have never heard of Rotary until they came to speak to us. And I sometimes wonder, we have a Rotarian magazine, but that is primarily for the membership. And I keep wondering if advertising, and I don't know if the advertising dollars will take it to the next level, but going into other magazines that people read to introduce what Rotary really does. I don't know if that would be a better use of our money being spent that way, because I don't know how to get the word out, is what I'm saying. Sure. And especially with these 3 organizations coming in, and they're having an impact out there in the world in what they're doing, but never having heard of Rotary. And I think that their teaming up with us would have been just incredible impact in the community.
Well, and I think keeping, touching base with those speakers that have come in, this is a valuable connection to keep up. Even if something doesn't happen right now, a couple of years from now, there might be the perfect project that you could ask for their support with, or vice versa. They might think of you. And I think one thing, too, when we're talking about Rotary and you're talking to people that you don't know, and it might seem silly at first, but really it does a world of difference. Practicing your little elevator pitch. You're not selling them on Rotary. If more anything, you're just informing them. And not focusing just on the meeting, but really the bigger picture. You guys are working on a lot of different projects, and that's awesome. And I'm sure you're probably open to doing more. but like letting people know that when you're connecting with them, it's more than a meeting. It's more than, as you said, a group of old white men. You're so much more than that, and focusing on your value and letting them know about that, because even if they don't join, they've got that in their mind about what you are, and down the road, you never know if your paths will cross again. So, yeah. Exactly, wearing your pin. Yeah,
We have time for one more question.
Oh, cool. Sorry, her over there, she had one first, sorry.
And it actually wasn't a question, it was a comment. So with the Rotary magazine, some of our members cut out their name and address and then leave them in like doctors' waiting rooms and so forth, so you get somebody to read. But talking about trial and error, in our district there was a push for satellite clubs. So in our area they were ethnic, but my club is Santa Ana, and something like 87% of Santa Ana residents are of Mexican origin. So we had a satellite club that was all Spanish speaking, and so they were small business owners in the area, and they just never got that satellite club to succeed. And so the remaining members finally merged into our club, mostly not Hispanic, and it has been such a gift. They just bring a whole different perspective and behavior and emphasis, and we are all benefiting from it. And I think, so, try it and then adjust, and thank you.
Right. That flexibility, I think, is very important. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, Julie, thank you so much for the impromptu. We highly appreciate it. Now, usually we have a book plate that goes into books for the library that we support. We will get you one. I'm a little closed in here, but we'll have your name on here and whatnot.
Thanks.
So that's just what it looks like. So I'll send you one over email. But especially since it's an impromptu, we'll definitely get one for you and have you represent. We really thank you. We look forward to working with you. As you can see, we love Rotary, and so we want to be able to have that grow. We also have a job for you. So this is our Blue Marble. This is a drawing. People, whoever wins, they get $10 for lunch, but then they get to draw to see if they get a Blue Marble, which is the pot of money.
Okay, all right. So.
Take mine.
No, mine.
Do you want me to read it?
Yes.
Okay. 668-4584.
Hey. Obviously, D is good luck for you. Thank you so much, Julie.
Sure, thank you so much.
Oh, that's just too bad. So it's just a reminder for anyone who has funding requests. Next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but next Wednesday is the board meeting. So if you have funding requests, please. Yes?
Reminder for next week, our district governor is going to be here.
Yes. District governor will be here next Tuesday as well, Kurt Harris. So, but like I was saying, funding requests, if you have any, please get them to me by Sunday so I can get them out to the board so they can review them before Wednesday. Right? So if you could please stand for all we think, say, and do.